welcome Dr. Manoj Bhai from India. And Dr. Manoj Bhai's short bio, we all have got it. I will not take much time for it, but I always appreciate his healing touch, helping so many children because he is the specialty in a kidney situation for the children. So when you deal with the children, you are very soft, very gentle, and you always work with the healing touch. So Manoj Bhai has so many specialities, and we all are aware of it, fortunately. So today, we want to take maximum benefit of his sharing about 7 colors of healing meditation. He's very actively participating in medical wing of the Brahma Kumaris, and particularly there is a group value in healthcare, and he is very actively taking care of certain projects. And one of the very good thing is God's instrument, and is traveling all over the world, particularly in India always. So I was trying to set up the dates since couple of months, and finally we were able to adjust it. So welcome. I request you all, if you can wave your hand and welcome our Dr. Manoj, today's distinguished, very special speaker. And
welcome, Manoj Bhai. Thank you for taking the time.
Shanti.
Om Shanti.
Welcome, brother. Welcome.
Om Shanti. Welcome, brother.
Om Shanti, brother.
Om Shanti. Welcome, brother.
So, shall I start? Am I audible?
yes.
Yeah, it's not, there's no disturbing sound behind, because if I put this on the ears, it becomes very strenuous for me. So, I think this should be okay. Right.
Yes, it's fine, doctor.
It's fine? Okay, thanks. So, thank you so much, Hansa Didi, for giving me an opportunity to interact with the Sacramento family. And I think a few days ago, Sister Shivani had spoken on art of inner stability. So, what a beautiful way to have a follow-up class on how to heal oneself by our inner stability. And I think this talk, the credit is all because of the Supreme Healer. It is nothing about me as a doctor. I mean, though as a medical doctor, I know about the details of the body, and as a spiritual doctor, I mean, what we say at Brahma Kumaris, we are called as double doctors, that we know about the body, one thing, and second is we also know about
Mind.
the soul. And so mind is just one aspect of that. So how the soul energy, I'm sure you all have received a small write-up which I sent yesterday about what are we going to speak today. So nevertheless, if it is not come, I'll be just actually covering in the talk. So the second aspect of, as I said, being a spiritual doctor, how the energy of the soul radiates in the body in the form of different chakras. So it is all about that today, what we'll be discussing. And I am not a very big fan of sharing screens. I usually like to interact with people, but it is actually nice that I should be able to show you all at least a few slides, so that it gives you a visual impression of what these chakras are all about. I'm sure all of you are aware of the word chakra. It's a Hindi word. Chakra means something which is cyclical, and we have these 7 chakras in the body. I'll be showing you shortly. So when we say chakra, what is cyclical about that? So the energy of the soul radiates in a circular motion in these chakras. And mind well, it is not something which can be seen, it is something which can be felt. So today, as all of you know, I mean, the soul also is something to be felt, not something to be seen through the physical eyes, because the soul is a metaphysical organ. All of you know that. So same way, the soul's energy, it radiates in the form of these chakras, and you can start feeling it. And today, by the end of the talk, we'll be seeing that last 10 minutes of the talk, we can do some experience about how a few chakras, particularly the upper 2 chakras, are being able to open or not. You'll get a feel of whether you're able to open the chakra or not. Opening the chakra simply means the chakra is blocked, you're opening it by connection with the Supreme. So that beautiful light feeling, the feeling of being an angel, being in the flying stage, is which means that your chakra is open. It's as simple as that. So don't think what is the meaning of getting open and getting it blocked. All of you are aware that the chakras get blocked by a lot of use of this. I'm sure all of you are using this in your life. We don't have a life without this nowadays, without the smartphone. But having said that, it is nothing to do with the smartphone. Smartphone is not at fault. We are at fault. I mean, smartphone is a non-living thing. We need to decide what is our screen time on the smartphone. I can't blame it on, oh, it's today's age is like that. Science and technology is like that. No. Science and technology is there for us to use it, but not abuse it, which we have actually done it in the past. How many years ago since the mobile has been discovered. So let me just share the screen and show you a few basic things about the chakras so that then we can cover. I'll just show you a little bit so that the theoretical aspect can be covered in the next 40-45 minutes, and then we'll move on to the practical aspect in the form of experiencing it. I love this slide. I like to show it always. All these slides are courtesy from Madhuban. Madhuban is our headquarters in Mount Abu. So you'll be finding this in some of the other literature of Brahma Kumaris. So it's nothing about I have developed them. So as you can see, soul is the driver and it is the operator of the body. And I won't be going in the details, but all these organ systems, for example, the brain, the heart, the lungs, in the kidneys, of which I belong to, I mean a doctor for that, the intestines. So each and every organ system in the body has its own function. So all of you are aware of the functions. I don't need to tell you. So for example, if I look at the brain, you can see it's like, why it's like a library, because it has immense amount of information stored in it in the form of whatever we see and whatever we listen to from the surroundings. But also it is in the form of memory. Since the age of whatever 1 or 2 years, since we were a small child, the memory track is already there in the brain. And also, if you know that sanskars, which we say in the Raj Yoga meditation course, so sanskars are also stored. Actually, sanskars are subtle, they are stored in the soul. But when you manifest the sanskar in the form of an action, when you do a karma, that karma is a physical action, and that physical action forms a part of your memory track in the brain. So it's an immense storehouse, like a library. It can also be compared to a physical computer, the brain, I mean, not the soul. You know the computer, what can it do for you? I don't need to tell you in detail, but there is something called RAM, random access memory, which is there in the brain, so in the computer. So similarly, much more than a physical computer, the brain is a supercomputer, we can say, because it does so many things in the body. Everything is coordinated. Like for example, at the moment I'm speaking to you, I'm looking at you, my vocal cords are producing the sound, my hands are moving, my heart is beating, I'm able to respire every minute. I'm taking 16 to 18 breaths a minute. So do you feel I'm doing this voluntarily? Obviously no. Everything is being taken care of, something in the body which is called autonomic nervous system. Autonomic means automatic. It is automatically happen without even you realizing it. Your heart is beating, your pulse is coming up, your blood pressure is maintained, etc., etc. So all these is taken care of in the body by the brain and the nervous system. In a similar way, if you look at the stomach, what is the stomach? It's compared to a mixer. You put your food in it as a mixer. On the tick of a button, everything is mixed. So stomach is an organ for mixing and grinding the food. Similarly, you have small intestine and the large intestine. So this is the small intestine, which helps you in digestion of whatever you have eaten. So the basic macronutrients, the proteins, carbs and fats, it absorbs all the nutrients. So it is like compared to a tree, and the tree has its roots. You can see here the roots. It is firmly grounded because of the roots. So if you cut the roots of the tree is dead. So similarly, if your small intestine is having some problems, it affects your nutrition, and you can see how people start losing weight then. and whatever has been absorbed and whatever remains as waste then comes to what is called the large intestine or colon, which is shown as a waste box. So just in short, to tell you that each and every organ in the body has a particular role, and that role is very important for us to have a normal physical functioning. But above all these physical functioning is something which is a subtle functioning of the mind and the intellect, because that's what affects all these as well. Sitting here, my mind is constantly creating thoughts and my intellect is able to visualize and take decisions. So if I am disturbed, in the sense when I say I am disturbed, which means my mind is disturbed, and I create waste thoughts or negative thoughts or thoughts of anger, jealousy, hatred, all those negative ones, those affect my intellect, they affect my reasoning capacity, my decision making capacity, and that in turn affects all these systems, because everything is interrelated. And as we have circulated in the small write-up, this is being actively studied nowadays. It is called psycho-neuro-endocrino-immunology, by which I mean psycho. Psycho means the psyche, your mind, your thought process, your emotions. They directly affect your neurology, the brain and the nervous system. So nervous system is not only the brain, but it has a spinal cord and all the nerves coming through that, which reach each and every part of the body. So our nerves are involved in that way, the nervous system along with the mind, and through that, so whatever emotions which we create, the feeling of those emotions is passed through the nerves to the entire body. So remember, it's really a very important thing to take care of your thoughts. This in turn affects your endocrine system, which is in close conjunction here. We have the hypothalamus and the pituitary. Both of these form what is called the master gland of the body, and this in turn directly affects your immunology, which is your fighting capacity of the body. So in short, I mean to say here that your mind directly affects your fighting capacity through psycho, neuro, endocrino, immunology. Let's not go in the details of that because it may sound very technical for y'all, but let me try to simplify it for y'all. We'll be doing an experience soon, and this is one of the last slides which I'll be showing today, just to give you a perspective of where these chakras are in the body. And they are called chakras of the ethereal body. When we say ethereal, it is nothing to do with physical. Ethereal, it means the ether element which we have in the body. The ethereal or energy body also we call. So you know, we speak about aura cleansing. I hope you know what is an aura. Aura is like, it's basically again an energy field which all of us carry around us, and depending on what your thoughts are, nowadays we have a lot of aura scanners, and also we have something called Kirlian photography. If you go through that scanning, or if you get a photograph of the Kirlian machine of yours, we can look at how your aura is, which indirectly tells us about what is your thought process. So people who are constant regular meditators, who think positive in life, their aura usually is more of the lighter colors, light yellowish, golden, or even whitish if you are very pure inside. Whereas a person who is constantly negative and maybe all the time sad or depressed, your mind is not in your control, you are just all the time thinking very fast, then in those cases your aura starts becoming on the darker colors. From grey it starts becoming more towards the shades of grey and black. So I'm not speaking anything about aura here, and please don't get boggled by, oh, let me go and get my aura scanned. No, don't do that. It is just for your knowledge. I'm telling you what you can do, what is in your hand. You can cleanse your aura by getting connected to the Supreme. So let me stick to my main aim and objective, that I need to connect to the Supreme to heal myself, because He is the Supreme Healer. So let's quickly look at these chakras. And as I said, I will just enumerate them now for y'all. I'll just stop sharing the screen and discuss with you the importance of each of these on the organ systems in the body, and then we'll go in the meditative mode. So pardon me if I will be overshooting my time. I think I was supposed to give it from 7 to 8 India time morning, around say 60 minutes, but I requested Hansa Didi that if we can please extend it a bit by 15-20 minutes. So she said, yeah, why not, we can do it 90 minutes with in between question and answer session if you all have any questions from your side. So we'll see how it goes, but if I feel that we are exceeding the time, then we can cut it short and maybe have a second session sometime in the future if that's fine. So let's look at the names of these chakras first, and each and every name is also mentioned in the brackets. The Sanskrit word is mentioned, and before that the English word is mentioned. It becomes easy if you read the English, and then I'll explain you what is the meaning of the Sanskrit word which is mentioned in the brackets. So before you all go on to this slide, all of you know that there are 7 colors, natural colors in the rainbow, and the mnemonic which we remember is Vibgyor: violet, indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. These are called natural colors because no one is making them on a color plate or on a canvas. They are just there in the atmosphere. And all of you know that when white light, which is actually the sunlight which we must say, when it passes through water, humidity, and when particularly you can see rainbows in the sky when you have sunlight and rain together. So when that light, which is ideally the white light of sun, which passes through water, as you know in the science, it's a prismatic effect on a prism. So it bifurcates into 7, and you can see those beautiful 7 colors. So it's something to do with the nature outside which relates to our nature inside. So the first 2 chakras are very important because they are what we call related to our subtle faculties. So all of you know the mind and the intellect. So they are related to those 2. So first one is related to our mind. That's the chakra on the top. It's called the crown chakra or plexus. Crown means because it's there on the crown. The crown is placed on the head, right? So it's crown. And in Sanskrit we call it Sahasrar chakra or Param. Param means it's supreme. This chakra is very important because it is through this chakra I am getting energy of the divine, of the supreme, and I am getting connected. And Sahasrar because Sahasrar, again, it's a word, it means thousands. So when I'm in a state of full connection with the divine, with the supreme energy, then I experience a lot of bliss. It's written over here, bliss. So each and every organ, system, and the chakra is related to the 7 virtues of the soul. Today I'll be showing you that also. So it's related to bliss. So when I'm connected and I'm in the state of bliss, that bliss is shown as a form of a lotus flower whose petals are open, and it has around 1000 petals. It's again symbolic. There is no lotus which has 1000 petals, but having said that, it basically means that you are in a stage of being detached. When we say lotus, lotus flower is though in the pond which is full of dirt, but it is fully detached from that. So when your Sahasrara chakra is fully open and you are in a constant meditative state, you experience that beautiful quality of bliss. So actually let me interact with you so that I'll just show you these chakras. You have already seen it, the name is there. Let me just enumerate. Brow plexus in the eyebrow. I'll be discussing after I stop sharing. Then we have this throat, present in the throat. Then the heart, heart plexus. Then here is the solar plexus. It is present in the abdomen, in the center, close to your navel. Then here is the sacral plexus. There is a bone called sacrum bone, which forms the tip of the spine, of your spinal cord. It is there. So some around say 2-3 inches below the navel. And the last we say is the root plexus, which is there right at the bottom, behind. So all of you are seated on something. You are sitting on your buttocks on the seat. So that is the root of your body. It is giving you support. So that's the root plexus. So let me just stop sharing because I want to see your lovely faces as well and interact with you all. So let me just stop sharing. Yeah. So I just wanted to give you a perspective of where these chakras are. So now let us go in the depth of a little bit of theory of what diseases are related to each of these. So I was speaking about the first chakra, Sahasrara chakra. So it's related to the mind. So all of you are aware of what are the diseases of the mind. I don't need to tell you. anxiety, stress, fear, worry. So there are so many
Okay.
things. Uh, if I can maybe request the host to maybe mute the participants for a while and then so it doesn't disturb the audience. Is it possible, Adhikari Bhai? Or maybe I'll do it. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just trying to mute you all for a while. Hope you don't mind me doing that because otherwise some extraneous noises come in between. So this chakra is a very important chakra and we need to get connected to the divine through that chakra. All of you are doing that when you practice the Raj Yoga meditation. But I am just telling you a little bit of science behind that. So the more your mind is stable, inner stability, which you all listened to 2 days ago, the more you will be in sync with your own body. And your thoughts, when they start becoming positive, this chakra, the crown chakra, gets opened. So diseases of the mind, the doctors which are involved is all the psychiatric diseases. So the psychiatrists and the psychologists, therefore all of them tell you that please make sure what you're thinking. They tell you, it's called cognition in the medical language. Cognition is to think. So they practice something called cognitive behavioral therapy. So they tell you that your behaviors can change only when you start changing your thinking. So thoughts are very important. I'm sure all of you now know, practicing this meditation, that thoughts are the one which need to be taken care of. Coming to the next chakra, and the color of that is violet. As you know, violet is the first color. And why am I saying so much about colors, and this topic is all about colors? Because you know the 7 colors are the visible spectrum. There is something below the violet and something above the red which you can't see through these physical eyes. So there is something called ultraviolet rays which also come from the sunlight, but you can't see them, but they are damaging for your skin. You know the UV exposure, ultraviolet exposure. There are many sunscreens for that. Similarly, below the red we have something called infrared rays, which again the visible eye, they are not visible, you can't see them. So the visible spectrum of the colors is, each of these color has a particular wavelength which it vibrates at a particular wavelength, and the same way the spiritual energy also in the chakra vibrates at a particular wavelength, and they match with each other. So that forms the basis of how color therapy helps healing a lot, helps in healing. But let me honestly tell you, I am covering with you all the 7 colors. I really honestly don't use it myself for my healing. What I do is I just sit, I change my thought process, I get connected to the divine, and once I'm with the divine, I don't need to think of what color am I taking. It's basically again not a physical color. It's something, the energy which you have to feel from God. But for the sake of the natural colors as we divide, violet, indigo, I'm just explaining you in that way. So the next color is indigo, that is dark blue color. Don't get carried away by the word indigo, because there is an indigo company in India which has, it's a flight business company, so don't look at that. And obviously that also is using the dark blue color. So if you all can tell me in the chat box, because I have muted you all, or maybe I should unmute you all, I think, because I want you all to interact with me. So yeah, I'll just allow you all to unmute. So let us just look at the colors and let us start interacting with each other. So as I told you, this is all about the mind, the crown chakra. The second chakra is Agya chakra, what we call Agya or Ajna. So Agya means in Hindi is to obey. So when I obey that I am a soul, because this is the basic soul chakra, the soul resides here, all of you know that. That's the reason in the Hindu tradition it's a very sacred thing to apply the tika here, right? We don't apply tika anywhere else, it's here. And Hindu women, you know, they apply the tika over here. And even if you go to a temple, the tika is applied here. So what value or what virtue of the soul is related to this chakra? Any idea? This is related to the intellect, as I told you. This is mind, this is intellect. So what value or virtue do you portray through your intellect?
Purity?
No.
According
Sorry, seeker, yeah?
I might be wrong, but I think it is some communication channel between the divine and the third eye, which is
Yeah.
called as the real self within our beings.
True. So you are telling us the process. I'm not asking you you're not wrong. No one is wrong. Don't worry. It's the process
Wisdom
what you're telling me. Yeah.
is
I'm speaking about the
right
virtue.
or wrong?
So yeah, so wisdom is a manifestation of the knowledge which you have. So knowledge is the primary virtue. So all of you are right. And what is the color of knowledge? What sort of pens do we use in childhood as a young kid? If you remember your very good old school days. Ink
Dark
pen,
blue.
do you remember the ink
Blue
pen?
pen. Yeah.
Dark blue.
Yeah, so ink pen, perfect. So dark blue, and that's what Ashok Bhai is wearing. He's wearing a dark blue coat. Good. So yeah, so it's dark blue color because when you look at the dark blue color, your eyes get stimulated because it's a nervous system. Eyes also is a part of nervous system. So when you look at that color, your nervous system is stimulated, and therefore this is related to all the nervous system problems. So eye problems or eye diseases, what we call CNS, central nervous system diseases like migraine headaches, or maybe even various sorts of paralysis, what we call stroke. So all this is related to that. So dark blue color, it's dark blue to be very specific, because after violet it is indigo, therefore it's called indigo and related to the problems of the nervous system. And the virtue you all told is already knowledge. So this is bliss and this is knowledge. I hope you know the difference between bliss and happiness. Bliss is not happiness. Bliss is a stage of what you call suprasensory happiness, by which I mean none of these physical pleasures or none of the physical sense organs, like the pleasure of seeing, the pleasure of listening, the pleasure of hearing, pleasure of touch, it's beyond all that. And you are in such a realm or such an area where nothing else is there. So because there is no opposite word of bliss.
That's
Like,
why they say blissfully unaware.
yes, correct. So the existence of yours, it's you are going beyond fully, and that's the reason it's on the crown. It's the first thing which you experience in meditation. So there is no opposite word of bliss. So as I was telling, opposite word of joy is sadness. Opposite of purity is impurity. Opposite of love is hatred. So there is no opposite of bliss, right? Opposite of knowledge is being ignorant. So something like that. So this is all about bliss, and as we said second here about knowledge. Now let me just again share it and revise with you this, that now the next 5 chakras which we'll be looking at, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the next 5, they are all related to the 5 elements which you can see in the physical world. So what we call that first 2 chakras are related to your subtle faculties, upper one being mind, second being intellect, and now these 5 are related to your physical organ systems through the physical elements of the outside world. So let me just clarify this for you. Let us come to this one, which is called the Vishuddhi chakra or the throat chakra. So what is the color? It's very easy for you all to know the color because the sequence is VI Vibgyor. So what is B? Blue color, right? So it's the sky blue color. And what do you get a feeling of when you look at the sky? What value does the sky portray?
Peace.
Yeah, perfect. So I think Ashok Bhai is getting all the marks here. Thank you, Ashok Bhai. But I want others also to interact. And then, you know, the problem with Zoom is, you know, all I don't know in which position you all are sitting. Someone is even lying down. I can see that, but that's perfectly fine. But I want you all to be attentive because there is too much of information which I am giving you here, and I really don't like it myself to bombard with you so much of information, because my main aim today was to help you in experiencing it. So it will be good if you all can interact with me. And the problem with Zoom is everyone's video is off except for a few select souls whom I can see. So therefore I said I don't like to share the screen for a longer time. I want to see your faces and interact with you all, so that I'm not interacting with black boxes in front of me. Thank you so much, the ones who have started putting their videos on. Thank you. It's okay. I mean, if you all are not wanting to, it's your personal space. I don't want to interrupt that as well. Right. So coming to the third, so peace you all mentioned. So peace and sky blue color go hand in hand. So what is the color of peace? Sky blue color. And what are the diseases which are related to this? It's all the ENT diseases. I hope you know what's ENT.
Ear, nose,
Ear,
and
nose,
throat.
and throat. Yeah. And remember that our ears, nose, and throat, through this the body is connected to the sky element. What is the element in sky? What do we call it? The
Space.
ether element. Remember, ether element. I'm asking about the physical element. It's the ether.
Ether.
So whatever space outside is there, which you can see, there is an element called ether. Again, it is not a physical element. You can't see it, but you can feel it. So that element is connected to a body. It comes into the body through ears, nose, and throat. So all the ENT diseases are related to this chakra. So mind well, if you're having an ENT problem, if you're constantly having cough, cold, it's a signal which virtue is missing in your soul, or lacking, not missing actually. You can't miss, it's just lacking. It's peace. So lack of peace. So remember, it's a big alarm bell for you. If you're constantly having upper respiratory tract infections, you might as well go and develop a little bit of peace in you. I mean to say, meditate and try to inculcate the virtue of peace in yourself. So then we move on to the next chakra. Below that, you know, is the heart. As simple as heart. It's called Anahat chakra. Anahat in Hindi means unlimited, which means constantly I am able to remember the Supreme Soul. There is Anhad Naad. You know, if there are many Punjabis in the audience, you know Naad is a sound, and Anhad is this unlimited sound which I can constantly hear. And again, it is not something to be heard through the ears. It is my inner connection with the divine, and that is the unlimited sound which is making me feel good. And what virtue do we express through the heart?
Love.
Fantastic. Again, Ashok Bhai is scoring. So he's giving you a big time competition. No one else is speaking. That's okay, Ashok Bhai. I don't have anything against you. But I want others. So next time give them a chance to think and then you answer.
I will not speak now.
And I think I have already showed you. I have shared the screen for around 5-10 minutes before. So hope you jotted down that. But I wanted to, as I said, I wanted you all to understand it logically. It's nothing to be crammed. So the value coming from the heart is obviously love. And therefore nowadays in relationships, what is not there? You know,
Love
is
and
not
compassion.
there. Exactly. So those are not there, and therefore your blood vessels in the body, your heart also starts getting small. I mean virtually small, in the sense it starts really when you don't have love in your life, you really don't give. You're not a giver, and your heart starts squeezing. Similarly, your blood vessels start squeezing, and that's the reason which is the number one disease: heart diseases and strokes after that, and blood pressure. So when your blood vessels start becoming smaller and constricted, your BP goes high. So what color is it? Obviously
Green.
after sky blue it's
Green.
green color, green. And green color, you know, in the this is not about any artificial green color, it's about Mother Nature's color in green. What is green in Mother Nature? The plantation.
Plantation.
All the
Trees.
what we call the flora and fauna. So the flora which we call. So the green natural color, when you look at nature, naturally you like trees, don't you, all of you? And nowadays with the climate change and the trees recklessly being cut by people and authorities, you feel that the green cover of the entire earth is going off. So naturally we have that love for plants and the entire flora. So similarly, when as a spiritual energy, if this love is not there in my life, I start experiencing heart attacks, and that's the reason that's the number one disease nowadays which is become we used to initially have myocardial infarction, that is heart attacks beyond 60-65 age, but now even young adults, even 30-35 years, they've started getting heart attacks. That's because in relationships there is more of what we call swarth. I mean to say it's selfishness rather than selflessness, right? All of you agree to that. Then we move on to the next chakra, which is the navel chakra, in the center of the belly button,
Manipur.
the navel. So you call it the it's called the Manipur chakra. Again, Manipur. So mani is a Hindi word. Mani means a jewel, and pur means the jewel is over there. So let me relate to you a story from Ramayana. If you know that Ram, who was trying to kill Ravan, he initially was trying to kill him each and every of 10 of his heads. You know the heads are symbolic. Each head is symbolic of a vice. Let me not go in that. That Hansa Didi will tell you in detail. I am more of the physical aspect I am covering. So it's symbolically shown that Ram tried to kill Ravan by knocking off each head. But when he was knocking off one head, the other head was coming up. So if you knock off one vice, the other vice is already waiting there to sprout. So someone told him that Vibhishan, let me not again go there. Someone told him the best way to strike him is go in his navel and put an arrow over there, and then he'll immediately go off. So it's a very important thing that in the body, it's very important that navel. Why is it important? Because all of you know we are connected to our physical mothers in the womb through that umbilical cord. Do you know there's an umbilical cord over there? That navel is a remnant of that. So we take all the nutrition and all from the mother through that umbilical cord. So as adults, when we grow up, that is called Manipur chakra in Hindi, and it is also called the chakra of the abdomen, or what we call the solar plexus. Therefore it's called solar because it signifies a nutrition coming from the mother. That so it's Manipur, the place where you have a jewel. And what color is it? Very simple. After green it is
Yellow.
yellow. And when I say yellow, I mean to say the golden yellow color. As I can see Sister Linda Cal written here. I hope I am pronouncing it correct. So you can see in the background some beautiful color. That color is golden yellow. It's a natural color. And golden yellow is color of which element? Any idea? Which element is golden yellow?
Joy.
Happiness.
Fire. Fire. I'm speaking about the element first. I'll come to the virtue in a while. So the element is fire.
Fire.
So similarly, throat chakra, what was the color?
Green.
Light blue.
Sky blue, sky blue. So the element was ether. I forgot to tell the element of heart chakra. What is the element of heart?
Air.
Air. So it is surprising, isn't it? You all ask me, you all didn't ask me, I'm telling you. How can heart have air? But heart is closely linked to which organ which has air?
Lungs.
Lungs. Perfect. So the lungs and the heart are closely related in the body, because even the heart won't function unless your lungs function. Because what is the main function of the lungs? To inhale oxygen and exhale carbon dioxide. All of you know that's something very basic about the body. So when we get oxygen in the body through the lungs, that oxygen then is taken in the blood, and then heart is pumping it to the entire body. So we get oxygenated blood, what we call, all full of oxygen. So that's the air element, which we said is green color. Then we come to the element which I told you, the golden yellow is the fire element. So therefore, you know, I can give you an example that if you are locked up in a room and the air conditioning, the fan is off, and it is this terrible summer time, if you can experience the Indian summers, not the summers in the north where you all are. So, and on the west coast you all are having a very pleasant summer over there. But if you are locked up in this, no ventilation at all, and you are given food to eat, you are asked to have your meal, and you are asked to eat it very fast in 10 minutes, what will you experience? When you start eating, you will have a lot of sweating. So this sweating basically is, what does it tell you? That when you have started eating, the fire element in the, because you know there is no such physical fire, nothing is burning. But when I say fire, it means the heat element in the body is stimulated, and heat is needed for digestion. And therefore, what is the number one illness whereby your digestive capacity has gone down nowadays? And that is again another important disease. Let me see what answer is coming. Closely related to heart attacks.
Gastroenteritis.
Gastroenteritis is something temporary whereby you are having
Obesity.
Indigestion.
Obesity.
Pancreas.
Yeah, Reenu, yeah?
Pancreas. Something pancreas.
Yes, so what with the pancreas?
Diabetes.
Yes, perfect. So diabetes and obesity both. So Ashok Bhai said obesity, and you know nowadays we call these two diseases together as diabesity. I hope you can Google it. Diabetes and obesity go hand in hand. So this is because your pancreas, which is a very important digestive organ, it it gives in the body a lot of pancreatic enzymes which are needed for digestion, and the number one hormone is insulin, and if you are not able to take care of that, you'll definitely get diabetes. So there are many others which you said: indigestion, gastritis, constipation. So all these are related to your fire element, the heat element in the body going topsy-turvy. You know, time is really running fast. I have just 15 more minutes till 8 o'clock India time, but let me see how much I can cover in the next 10 minutes, and then we'll go in the experiential mode. Right, so we finished chakra till navel. We have the next two chakras pending. If for
You
people
take
who
your
have,
good time, no problem, if you are not getting late for your work.
no, I'm fine. I have a bit of free time today. That's perfectly fine. So I can spend a bit of more time here.
No
So as you
problem.
can see, we have covered it till here, and now these two are there. I just wanted to show you
Orange
the
and
location.
red. માં જુદા દેખાય છે.
Okay. So coming to the next chakra, which is below the navel, say a few inches below navel, which if I could request people to just mute themselves so that it doesn't disturb all of us. Yeah. So that chakra is called sacral plexus, and in Hindi, so in Sanskrit we call it Swadhisthana chakra. So Swadhisthana means, it's a very important word. Swa means self, and Adhishthana means what is my basic nature. We say Om Shanti, that's fine. My basic nature is being peaceful. But Adhishthana is what is my foundation actually. Swa Adhishthana. So that is basically purity, remember, because all of us are the pure souls. So what is the color of purity? Please don't tell me white. It isn't white.
Orange.
Yeah, so we don't say orange. We actually say it is saffron color. If you know saffron, you know what is saffron? Kesar. In
Yes.
Hindi we call kesar. It's a beautiful spice which comes all the way from Kashmir, and it's very expensive. I hope you know. And in the Indian delicacies, it is added into the all those
Prashad.
mithai, yeah,
Yeah.
which we make, all those Indian delicacies which you, I'm sure quite a few Indians in the audience, and it has a beautiful fragrance. If you can really, the original kesar which you get. So it's the saffron color. And who wears the saffron color clothes? Any idea in India?
Monks.
All the
Saints.
monks. Yeah,
All the
yeah.
monks and sages.
Perfect. So sadhus, sannyasis, monks, sages, because it's a sign, they are trying to show that it's a signature of purity, and it's the color of purity, therefore we say. And so we finished the element. Above that was fire element. So below that now, which element makes everything purify in the outside world?
Water.
So there you are. So water helps it in the purification. And where is water element present in the body? If I can give you a hint, Hansa Didi said that in the introduction for my speciality.
Kidneys.
Yes. So there are four main organ systems. You are right. Kidney is the one which is correct. Kidney and the urinary system, because it has urine. What is urine? It is basically, it's the, what you call the last byproduct of your blood. So whatever blood is there, it helps in filtering the blood, right? Whatever junk we eat is digested, goes into the blood, goes and gets deposited in the body, and whatever waste is there, it comes through either the intestine in the form of stools, and in the form of urine it comes out in water. So it's an excretory organ. So blood, so there are four organ systems related to blood, related to water, sorry. So one is blood, because blood also is liquid. So diseases of blood, which means all the, what you call blood cancers and many other blood diseases, I'm not going in those details. Then you have kidney related problems, kidney and urinary tract. Then skin also has sweat, right? So skin, so diseases of skin. And most important, which are the organs related to purity? The reproductive system, as all of you know, the male and the female reproductive system. So which was the number one disease in the 1980s? It was discovered, and it was the number one disease which was spreading because of impurity.
AIDS.
So all of you know that. And now, no wonder the scientists, we have almost lived with that 40-50 years now, and we have many anti-HIV drugs now. But again, it is a very bad disease to have. It directly affects your immune system. Therefore it's called human immunodeficiency virus. So you see how purity is directly affecting your immunity I hope you can get the correlation. And this may, why am I trying to correlate here? Because it helps you all in understanding the basis of physical disease. Therefore, in the Murlis, in the Brahma Kumaris, whatever spiritual versions are taught here, I'm not going to use the word Baba because there may be a few audiences who may not be able to correlate with who Baba is, but the spiritual teachings from the Supreme, what we get, it is said that everything is in the mind. You take care of your mind, your thought process, and your diseases can be cured. It's magic. It can happen. So that's all those diseases, and color we said is orange, and virtue is purity. And now coming to the last chakra, which I'm sure there's the last color, last virtue. So you all can tell me. I'll tell you the chakra name. It is called Mool Adhar Chakra, or it's also called the, I'll show you, that's the last time I'll be showing you this.
It's red
It's
color.
called the root plexus or the root chakra. I'll just stop sharing it now again. So when we say root, and in Hindi it's a beautiful word, Mool Adhar. Mool means basic and Adhar means foundation. So the basic foundation of the body. Now all of you are sitting on your seats, right? Either in your chairs or in your bed, wherever. So what is the support system of the body? What is the root by which you are getting support in the body?
Earth.
Fine.
Earth.
Yeah,
The
so
spine?
and someone else said something else. So it's the bones and the muscles of the body.
Spine?
Yeah, correct. So it's fine. All your answers are correct. So the musculoskeletal system, you know, the entire body frame is made up of bones, muscles, and joints. What we call these three basic things in the musculoskeletal system. And who are the doctors who look after these? Orthopedic surgeons.
Orthopedics.
Yeah. So what is the virtue related to bones and joints?
Strength.
Strength.
So strength is something physical. I showed you strength physical. But what is the subtle correlate of strength? Power.
Support of the body.
Power. Shakti, what we call in Hindi, or power. So power. So that's the virtue. And what is the color of power?
Red.
Red.
And it's a bright red color. Therefore, in India, if you remember, I can see quite a few Indians, as I said. In India, when you want to stimulate a buffalo or a cow in the buffalo race, what do they show? The red color.
Red
right?
flag.
Why is the red color shown? Because red is a sign of power. And therefore, remember, if you are in an Indian village sometime, if you are going and if you see a buffalo around, please make sure you're not wearing a red dress. Why? Because the buffalo can come and attack you. Because the red color ignites power. It's important. And all of you are aware, when we do meditation at the Brahma Kumaris centers, the Raj Yoga meditation, why do they do red light? They say, na, on the red light, right? Why? Because red light signifies power. It is also the color of what we say, the soul world. Because the soul world is a highly powerful world. You should know the soul is powerful. So if all the souls are in one particular place in the world, it is really a very powerful place to be in. So that's about power. So all the diseases of the bones, the joints, and the muscles are related to this power. So
What element it represents?
Yeah, you all tell me now the last element. It's remaining.
Earth.
Yes, perfect. Earth. Good, you reminded me of that. So how will you correlate with Earth? Because all of us, you know, the earth takes everyone's pressure, everyone's weight. So all of us have weight in the body because of muscles, bones, and joints. So the earth is taking all that directly. So earth is related to that element directly. And also in the Hindu tradition, when the body is burnt, or when the other religions it's cremated, so what remains, which goes to the earth? The bones, right? You'll
Ashes.
see the
Yeah.
ashes. So all that is going to the earth. So it's directly related to earth. So with this, I think I would like to stop the theoretical aspect of it. So now what we'll be doing next, around say in the next 20-25 minutes, you all can tell me, do you want to take a few Q&A first, or do you want to directly go in the experiential mode? I leave it up to you all.
I had
Let's
a
go.
question for you, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just one
actually,
quick
Q&A, मतलब question answer is good to do, and then meditation.
Then
So
meditation,
people go
yeah.
in that beautiful feelings
Exactly.
and
Yeah.
know voice, yeah, sound, right?
Yeah.
So, doctor, thank you so much for all the lovely knowledge you shared and all your time. But like I recently had a bypass surgery. I'm 65, and not to praise myself, but if I had to give somebody something, I never hesitate. Like if I have 20 and I have to give away 18, I'll happily do it. But and all my basics are very perfect. Like I wasn't diabetic. I no pressure, and but then the doctors, they attributed it to saying it is genetic because both my parents had heart diseases. A couple of my brothers passed away very young, and one of my brothers at the age of 35, he had a bypass. So they said, in my case, it is genetic. What would you say?
Yeah, so you're giving the answer in your question itself, because see, uh, when I'm so again a word of caution for all of you, when I'm explaining you all these virtues, it doesn't mean that if you are really I mean, if
I'm
you're a
doing yoga
giver,
too.
I'm not taking
I'm
your
listening.
example. I'm just saying about, let
Okay.
us look at, yeah, I'll just complete. Let us look at our organization, all the Brahma Kumaris. We had the Dadis, what we call the very senior sisters. Dadis are senior sisters. So, for example, Dadi Janki, Dadi Gulzar. So, all these seniors in our organization also had to go through a lot of illnesses, heart diseases. So we are in the age of Kali Yuga. Let me tell you that, very important. We are not in the golden age. We have perfect bodies. So all of us are going through this fag end, the last age of the last part of the iron age. So all of us have a lot of karmic accounts which we have to settle. So our karmic accounts also are settled through the physical illnesses we have. So you perfectly gave your answer that you are a donor and you like giving, but that doesn't mean that my heart will be all the time strong. It is just one factor, and there are many factors. So as you said, genetics plays a big role in everything in the body. Then there are other factors which is called epigenetics. Epi means something above, which means my environment which I am in, then what food I am consuming. So there are many factors for any illness. So being meditative and considering spiritual as being one aspect of that. But I'm sure whatever heart surgery you have gone through, the bypass or whatever, after that your healing is in your hands. Like if I want to constantly keep sulking, oh why did I go through that, then I'll make myself very bad. But if I'm highly positive, I'll secrete those positive hormones in the body, and that will make me recover fast, come out very fast, and I can heal myself. So remember again, a red flag here for all of you. Don't just stop your medications, because many people do that. And thank you, Shobha sister, for getting this topic out here, because I wanted to tell you all, but I didn't know how to tell, and you have got this point out here. Many people, they start doing these 7 colors meditation and they stop their medication, and after 14 days they land up in the ICU. So please don't do that, because you don't want to defame me. Forget defaming, you don't want to defame the divine energy. So the divine energy is there, but it all depends on many factors. If I have a body which is very frail and weak, I suddenly can't treat myself with meditation. It's a process, it takes time. And as I said, our senior yogis, Dadi Gulzar for example, she had Parkinson's, hope you know that. She had tremors. So she was such a yogi soul, but she still had to deal with this body. We had our organization head called Mama. She underwent cancer, and she was such a yogi soul. Brahma Baba himself had diabetes, so he was a regular meditator. So remember that these whatever I'm teaching you here is, please don't stop your medications. What can happen is, that is will obviously happen, you continue your medications, and as you start doing this meditation, anything takes 21 days, 3 weeks. That's the magic number. 3 weeks to get a part of your anything which you want to inculcate as a habit in your lifestyle. It should go on for 21 days at least. So after 21 days of regularly doing this, then you go and have your blood test with your doctor, and then he will say, oh, looks like your things are getting better, your sugars are getting better, your BP is normalizing, and then he will start decreasing the medication dose. You can't do that because you're not licensed to do that, right? And you're not an authority on that, because you don't want to land up in the ICU suddenly by stopping all the medications. So remember, your medications will be tapered to, will be decreased by your medical practitioner, but you can just add and give a benefit to yourself by inducing this healing. So thank you for getting this question out. And
No,
I'm
thank
sure
you for
after the heart
explaining it.
surgery, now that your vessels are more dilated, you can be more giving that way. Otherwise, you're already a giver, as you said.
No, I wanted to. I was thinking that am I giving it in a selfish manner? That's it, nothing else.
That you need to analyze when. So
No,
again,
I'm
good.
saying.
So it's not like that. So it is obviously selfless giving, but it is our karmic accounts, our genetics, our environment. There are so many things which cause disease. This is just one aspect of it. So hope that's clear.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
So
Thank
any
you so
other
much,
questions?
doctor.
Welcome. Yeah. Any other questions we have? I think this one question gave us a lot of points to discuss. And
Doctor, a quick question. My name is Ranjit. As you mentioned in the very first chakra, the element ether, can you just briefly explain what that element is, if you don't
okay.
know?
Yeah. So if you just close your eyes now, or maybe even in open eyes, you're looking outside in the in your room, or maybe outside in the physical nature. You can see many things, can't you, through your eyes? But
Yes.
whatever space is there, that space element is called ether, because it is something which is not, it's not tangible, by which I mean you can't feel it. I'm sorry, you can't see it, but you can feel it. Okay, similarly, if you look at air element, can you see it?
No.
No, but you can feel it. Like if there's a cool breeze coming, or if there's a warm breeze, or it's hot air coming, you can feel the breeze. So similarly, air and ether, both these elements are very subtle. They can be felt, but they cannot be seen. So whatever outside you see, including the sky, actually let me tell you, the sky is not blue.
Right.
You can see the blue sky, but what is the blue thing which you are seeing?
The water
It's
reflection.
it's water reflection. It's also what we call the ozone layer, which has humidity in that. Many things make it blue color. So
Right.
as you go further above, if you're in a flight, again you can see a lot of blue color, but when you go to touch that blue color, you'll see it is not blue. It is just a space which is there, and it gives you blue color because of many other things which are there in the ozone layer. So it is whatever you're seeing outside in the space around, there is air element in that and space element. So space is ether.
Makes
And
sense.
many people also say that it is the sixth element in one way. When I say sixth element, which means it is the element which is supernatural, which you can't see through the eyes, and that is sixth. And there is something called seventh element. You know what is the seventh element? Satwa Asman, they say.
Now,
That is the soul world, which cannot be seen but which can be felt. So when in our meditation we create those beautiful thoughts that I am a soul, the energy, and I am going to the soul world, then I am going to that ether element in the seventh sky, what we call Satwa Asma, or seventh element, where we say God resides. And when I say God, I mean to say the supreme divine energy. So where does it reside? In the soul world, right? So that is the seventh element. So ether is something to do with the space which we are seeing all the, and we know we say NASA. What is NASA?
the space station.
Yeah, so when we say space, what is this space? That is the space element, and that ether is present in that. Okay, so it's, and therefore it's ethereal, what we call it. Cannot be seen, but it can be felt. Energy, the energy or ether.
Got it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. So I think time is really running fast. We have more 20-25 minutes, hope so. So it will take me a few more minutes before we go in the experiential mode. So what we do, something which is slightly different from Raj Yoga meditation, is you try to visualize the color. And what I would recommend is, again, don't be so fixed and don't struggle with so much. Like many people struggle, they say, oh, I can't see the color. I tell them, relax, no worries. Because in one way you're trying to get connected to the Supreme and de-stress yourself. And at the same time you are creating the stressful thought, oh my God, I can't see the color. So don't do that. It's fine. You can't see the color, that's fine. But can you feel the energy coming in? Yes, we obviously do feel that energy. So in that energy, if you can just visualize that there are rays of red coming, or rays of violet, or rays of purple, accordingly they will heal your body. So just try to be at ease fully. There are many mudras. I don't have time to show you that. I won't recommend any mudra at the moment. Mudra is various, the fingertips are aligned in such a way that they create a mudra, and that also helps in your body to harmonize the energy. But again, let us not be so physical about, let us just try to have a straight seat. And I would recommend, if you are used to open-eyed meditation, you can keep your eyes open, and I'll be giving you a little bit of guided commentary to tell you about the color, so try to visualize that color. But if you feel you want to close your eyes, you're getting distracted by things around, you can please keep your eyes closed. But make sure you don't fall asleep, because then I don't have to tell you good morning when you wake up, because then it's the slumber silence which you have experienced, not the meditation silence, right? And I'm sure all of you have had your early dinner, or you all would be going and having dinner. Well, hope you're not you're not full inside, because you tend to sleep then if you're having a heavy meal half an hour ago or so. Right, so keep yourself attentive. I'll play some soft music in the background here. And one more thing, I will try to incorporate this Om Dhvani. Om, you know, Om is a universal sound. It is nothing about Brahma Kumari's Om Shanti. It is obviously, but Om is a universal sound. The Tibetan culture, the Zhao culture, there are many, particularly the Asian traditional spiritual whatever culture was there, they used to have this Om sound chanting. You know, all the sages and the monks also, when they go in the caves and sit there, they try to say Om. Why is that Om Dhvani so important, the Om sound? Because when you say Om, it really, the voice which you create, the sound, it resonates in your air spaces. You know, our skull bone inside here has air spaces. Those are called sinuses. I hope you know. So in that sinuses there is a lot of air and also fluid. So when it starts vibrating in that through the Om Dhvani, you start feeling a beautiful sensation of lightness in your skull bone, and also it radiates through your crown chakra, and then when you connect it, you really feel lot of bliss. So Om Dhvani or Om sound just helps you in accelerating the process of connection to the divine. But there are many souls at Brahma Kumaris who don't practice Om sound. That's perfectly fine. But if you are a beginner, I would recommend that if you want to experience that lightness more and in an easier way, you can start practicing Om as well. So in between, when I do the guided commentary, I'll be asking you all to chant the Om as well. So it will help us making more relaxed and light faster. So with these few things, I'll just share the sound of this music which I'm playing, so that it creates the atmosphere of meditation. So are we ready?
Doctor, when we chant the Om, when we chant the Om, would you like us to unmute ourselves?
No, that's fine, because I think if you all unmute yourself, all of you all, it will be too noisy, I think.
Okay,
So let
all
us
right.
not,
I just wanted to make sure.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's okay. So that's what I was going to say next, that I would request all of you all to keep yourself in the mute mode, and I'll make sure that I keep you all in the mute mode, because suddenly someone's mobile will ring, or even mine will ring suddenly. So I'll just put it in the vibration mode. Yeah. So are all of you ready? Ready, steady to go? Right. So again, we'll take a few deep breaths in and out. As you take a deep breath in and out, your body starts relaxing. So relax your body. Relax. And as your body starts relaxing, you will see that your mind also starts feeling relaxed. Relax your mind. Now look at yourself as the beautiful sparkling energy in the center of the forehead. That's what is my reality, my true existence. The beautiful energy driving the body. And create this one beautiful thought: I am a peaceful being. And the moment you do that, your mind starts to calm down and you start experiencing the lightness of your existence. I am a peaceful being. Now, in this relaxed and peaceful state of mind, let me first try to open the Agya Chakra, which means I am already in the stage of soul consciousness. But let me try to deepen that a bit more. So in the next few minutes, as we chant the Om Dhvani, also try to visualize the dark blue colors of knowledge emerging from the Divine Being and entering my entire system. So let's begin. We take a deep breath, and as we exhale, we chant Om. Let's begin. Keep doing it for a few more times. One more time. Experience the lightness within. And tell yourself, I am a knowledgeable soul. The most important knowledge being about the self. master creator of my thoughts. I'm in charge of my entire body and the mind as well. I can decide what thoughts to create at what time. Because I am the master creator. In the moment we give this order to the body and the mind, being seated on the seat of self-respect, what we call Swaman in Hindi, I see that my mind and body start obeying my orders. Because I am in charge and in control of my body. So now, having realized the self as a knowledgeable soul, let me take another step, being in this stage of pure soul consciousness. The next step is to get connected to the Supreme Being, the Divine Energy, who is the ocean of all virtues and powers. So as I see myself as the beautiful, conscient energy, the being, similarly, God, the Supreme Being, whatever name you want to call it as, Ishwar, Allah, God, Vaheguru, it's also an energy like me, but supreme in nature. So let me visualize him as another point of light above my head, close to the crown chakra. And again, we do two things. We visualize the violet color and again chant the Om sound for a few minutes. So as you chant, keep visualizing the violet color. Let's begin. Chant for 2 more times. more time. So as I get connected to the Supreme Being, I experience the rays of bliss, Anand, entering my system through the crown chakra on the top of the head. I feel so nice and so protected. I am under the canopy of the Divine. Fully and always protected. Sada and Sarva in Hindi. As I see myself as this beautiful energy connected to the divine energy, it feels as if I am bodiless. And all the energy from the divine in the form of all virtues and powers is being infused into my system. And what a beautiful feeling it is to be full of all virtues and powers of the divine. Immense gratitude to the Divine Being, the Supreme Being, for helping me to know who am I and what is my true inner potential. Getting rid of physical diseases is just a very small, minor thing. But what else am I getting? What am I really getting from being connected to the powerhouse of all the energy, the virtues and powers? I become an embodiment of each virtue and power, which in turn helps me to face any situation in life and combat or conquer any illness which may I have to foresee in future. Because it is not soul power now working through me, it is God's power or the power of the Supreme who is now using me as his instrument to carry on the task of world transformation. I am a responsible being, an instrument of the Supreme for transforming the self and the world around. So with this beautiful consciousness of being a self transformer first and then the world transformer, let me gradually now come back into the consciousness of the room I am sitting in. Take a deep breath, open your eyes, and maybe if you wish to, you can gently rub your hands, and this new divine energy you can spread onto your entire system through your face. Om Shanti. Right. So I'm sure we don't want to come into voice because it's a beautiful experience all of us have had. So with this, I would like to stop the sharing, and anything else from Hansa Didi? Yeah. Over to you.
Om Shanti. It's an excellent experience. And I think we all will have a special dreams of beautiful colors. And we will conclude the session in this silence. We can just wave Dr. Manoj Bhai for his very wonderful presentation.